Coming to you live from the UP Varsity Training Center here in Diliman, Quezon City. Game 2 of a 5-game slate, and it's the final day of the single round robin action. Welcome to the NSAC 2026 College Basketball Campus Tour. Earlier today, we saw the UST Growling Tigers defeat the San Sebastian Golden Stags 102-63. What a game, and coming out of that, player of the game was Chris Porter, 13 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists. This is today's stop in UP Diliman. We've been here since yesterday. And our games today will be followed by the game today, Perpetual Altas versus the NU Bulldogs. At 1 p.m., Mapua Cardinals versus the Adamson Soaring Falcons. Then the Letran Knights versus the Arellano Chiefs. And we're capping off today with the UP Fighting Maroons versus the LPU Pirates. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the showdown of the best in collegiate basketball. My name is Paula Kalingasan, and I am so thrilled to be joining you today on our fourth weekend of eliminations. This particularly is a very thrilling game. It's the battle for the second seed for Group B. And to understand why this is important, let's revisit our tournament format. So for NSAC 2026 College Basketball Campus Tour, 16 teams from the UAAP, NCAA, and NSAC are divided into 4 groups of 4. What's happening now is they're competing in a single round-robin format, and seeding from this will determine the matchups going into our round of 16, then the quarterfinals, the semis, and up until the finals. So a lot has yet to happen, and our standings right now, our second game will be focusing on Group B specifically. The stakes, once again, 2 teams fighting for the second seed. That's Perpetual Altas and NU Bulldogs with 1 win and 1 loss already. UST Growling Tigers and the San Sebastian Golden Stags. That was the game earlier. UST only in the winning column. The Golden Stags have yet to find, that win, that rhythm in this season. So we'll be focusing on the 2 teams who are playing for today. First up, the University of Perpetual Help System, Delta Altas. They're coming from a loss against UST just yesterday, less than 24 hours ago, 57 to UST's 80. And to note, there was no Mark Goho Cruz efficiency, only 4 minutes of play from shotmaker JD Pagolayan. And they were really limited in the points in the paint as well as the field goals, only shooting 31% on the field. But of course, there was heroics from Janjan Ruluna, Jello Galsano, Eman Pizarro. They really contributed numbers across the board. Jello Galsano and Janjan Ruluna actually contributed double digits in points. Meanwhile, NU Bulldogs, they're also coming from a defeat from the Growling Tigers. They ended in a 7-point deficit last April 19. So they had time to rest, recalibrate from that game, and improvements to watch out for going into this one. They were out-assisted. Free throws only shot 50% from the field, and also 3-point shooting. They were only shooting 22% from beyond the arc. And now, we won't keep you any longer. We'll turn it over to our game announcer to meet our starters for today.
Check out the starters of your National University Bulldogs. And number 1, Dennis Alongside.
Our starting 5 for Perpetual Altas. We have Orgo, Roluna, Borja, Doremdes, and Gelsano. Names that are no stranger to the broadcast. And meanwhile, for the NU Bulldogs, stepping up, their first 5 is Garcia, Laconsay, Diasana, Reyes, and Serrano. Welcome everyone once again. This is the NSAC 2026 College Basketball Campus Tour. By the name itself, it is a tour. It's the 3rd stop, and right now, this weekend, we're in the UP Diliman campus. We came from San Beda, moved on to the Atenean campus at the Blue Eagle Gym, and now we're ending the single round robin eliminations here in the UP Varsity Training Center. First quarter of action. This is your NSAC 2026 College Basketball Campus Tour, NU with first possession. Looking for the open man, Garcia kicks it out. 12 to shoot. We have Laconsay. Gives it back out to Reyes. Bounces right off. Defensive rebound, Altas. Got Roluna. Now to Doremdes. Calling a play. Saves it. 13 seconds to shoot. Back on the top of the key. Gelzano for 3. Chelo Gelzano starting out the scoreboard with a triple. NU going straight to the basket. In and out. Alta secures it. Roluna. Borja slowing it down. Gets it back. 10 seconds to shoot. Borja now looking for an open man. Corner, drives baseline. Floater. And it's good. Back-to-back points. Sean Orgo there. Bulldogs ball. Laconsay gives it to Garcia. Trying to find space there. Laconsay will try beyond the arc. And a call on the floor. Perpetual Altas now with a 5-point run, and we'll see why. Starting off the game with a 3-pointer. What action we're seeing today. And that 2-pointer, of course, from Sean Orgo. Getting the ball rolling this early, under 2 minutes of play. 7 seconds to shoot. And a call on the floor. 3-second violation. Possession will stay with the Perpetual Altas. Roluna with the inbound. Orgo once again bringing it down. Roluna. Now Doremdes inside. No good for Gelzano. Reyes. Now Garcia. 12 to shoot, goes inside to Serrano. And that won't go. Orgo once again. Trying to open that lead this early. Bounce pass to the inside. Borja, bounce right off. And NU secures that rebound. Justin Kyle Garcia, spin. No go. NU still looking for their first basket. Gelzano gives it to Orgo. Borja now with 13 seconds to shoot. Looking for an opening here. Clock winding down. 5 seconds. Bounce pass to the inside. Rolls right off. Garcia once again in transition. Goes inside to Diasana. Short. Doremdes secures and brings it down. Borja now. Bounce pass to the inside. Diasana blocked Orgo as he was driving on the baseline. And let's look at that replay. That Diasana block saying no more. And with that, NU Bulldogs, they'll have possession. And we can see Paul Francisco on the floor for the dark jerseys. Got Serrano now. Calling a play. Gives it to Garcia. Out to Serrano. Diasana inside. And that's the first basket of the NU Bulldogs. Courtesy of Mohamed Diasana. Altas, no good. Serrano with the rebound. Garcia once again. Will go inside. Dishes it out. Francisco for 3. Short. Roluna. 2-on-1. Bothered by Francisco. 17 on the shot clock. Garcia will go. Perpetual Altas playing just less than 24 hours ago. And one thing to note, we talked about in the pregame was Mark Goho Cruz and JD Pagulayan did not play. But look at the heroics of the teammates on the floor right now, stepping up. And I talked to Coach Olsen Racela earlier, and Mark Goho Cruz and JD Pagulayan will be out for at least a week because they're nursing some injuries. And Garcia sinks another one in for NU Bulldogs. 4:48 left here in the first quarter. Altas ball. Orgo goes inside and a call on the floor as he was driving to the basket. And a few substitutions here. 4 players sitting down for NU, 4 coming in. Tolabot on the free throw line for Perpetual Altas. So JM Tolabot, in their game versus UST yesterday, he was quite efficient on rebounds. And we might see that same action in today's game. Tolabot puts the scoreboard at 10 for Perpetual. Ball goes out of bounds. And new ball now. Naf Tolabot had the inbound. Now Jumamoy. 8 seconds to shoot. Goes out to Tolabot. Short. Gives it out to Casinillo. Find the open man. Gelsano chooses to go for a 3, and it's good. Chelo Gelsano 3. Perpetual Altas now at 13. And you contained at 4. Maglupay. Now top of the key, Tolabot. Rolls right off. Jumamay secures the rebound. Francisco now in transition. Clock winding down, 10 seconds to shoot. Got Padrones inside, stolen away by the Altas. Got Duremdes with the ball. Now Tolabot. And the drive with the basket. Altas is on a run. Put a stop on NU this early. Spin bucket, no good. Maglupay. Duremdes, short. Got Jumamoy going straight to the paint. And the ball went out of bounds. A few substitutions for Perpetual Altas. Specifically, Pizarro and Danag coming in. And new ball. 14 to shoot. Loses it. Saved. But Padrones stepped out of bounds just as he was rescuing the ball. Altas ball now. Danag dished it out. Short on that 3. And they'll get second chance. 8 on the shot clock. Maglupay now. Danag goes to the paint. Tolabo at elbow jumper. No good. NU. Got Jumamoy. Now Padrones. Finding the best man possible here. Diasana. 5 seconds to shoot. And it is in for Nath Tolabot. A minute and 40 seconds left here in the first quarter. Altas doing one hell of a job. 15 points to NU's 6. Maglupay, short on that 3. Pizarro, struggle for the ball. Ball stays with the Altas. Shot clock at 10. And this will be the Altas' second chance to make a basket here. Basket is good. Courtesy of JM Tolabot. Padrones. That matchup with Pizarro. Diasana goes for the free throw line jumper, no good. Francisco gets it. Padrones. Layup is good. Less than a minute left here in the first quarter. 9-point game. 12 seconds to shoot for the Altas. Maglupay goes in. No good. 30 seconds left in the first quarter. 15 on the shot clock. Francisco gives it to Jumamoy. He'll go straight to the basket. Dishes it out to Padrones. Bounces off the iron. Shot clock is off. 12 seconds left here in the first quarter. 4 seconds. Clock winding down. Gives it to Tolabot. Shot on the line. Won't go. But the first quarter will be ending that. The score 17 for Perpetual Altas and 8 for the NU Bulldogs. Highlights from the first quarter. An amazing early run from Perpetual Altas. The first shot of the game being a triple, followed by that jumper from Sean Orgo. Back-to-back baskets. NU tried to look for a stop, and that was started by Diasana. A block followed by a basket, but the Altas going possession after possession, basket after basket. The heroics of this team, and they played just less than 24 hours ago, but you have to give it to the effort of the NU Bulldogs. Now we're here in the second quarter of action in the UP Varsity Training Center at our stop in UP Diliman. This is the NSAC 2026 College Basketball Campus Tour. Struggle for the basket. Maglupay secures the first basket of the second quarter. Score now is Perpetual Altas 19 and NU Bulldogs 8. Casinillo, Pizarro, now Danag. Looking for an opening here. Borja will go for the three, and it's good. Aris Borja containing NU to a single digit. They're now up with 22 points. 11 on the shot clock. Second chance. Tulabot spins, gives it out to Padrones, and it's in. 12-point lead here for Perpetual Altas. Still early. Less than 2 minutes have passed in the second quarter, and a call on the floor. We saw Pizarro on the floor. And that will be a pushing foul on the NU Bulldogs. 2 free throws for Eman Pizarro. As of yesterday, he's been averaging 3 blocks per game. And in their game yesterday versus UST, he's been on the stat sheet for efficiency, of course for blocks, and as well as steals. No good on those 2 free throws for Pizarro. Chumamoy going straight to the basket, dishes it out. Pass to the wrong jersey, Maglupay gets it. Pizarro, no good. Cartel now, bringing it down. Gives it to Jumamoy. Hesitates on the 3. Will choose to spin. 3 on the shot clock. And that's a shot clock violation on the NU Bulldogs. Failed to make the basket within the 24. And we've got a couple of substitutions here for both teams. Altas ball, Orgo. Match up with Miranda. Finding the open man. Gives it to Borja. Five seconds to shoot now. Orgo. Corner 3. Roluna, no good. Taken away by NU, Miranda. Goes inside to Padrones. Cartel almost loses it. Fade away, no good. Call on the floor. Holding foul. The NU Bulldogs will call for a timeout. Our score is 22-10. off the timeout after 3 minutes of play here in the second quarter. The Altas leading with 22 points. That's a 12-point lead to NU. The Asana now. Cartel gives it out to Alfanta. 5 seconds to shoot. Cartel goes inside, and it's in! Penetrating the defense, adding 2 points to NU. Altas, Borja, no good. In transition, Navarro couldn't get it to go, but he gets the foul. He draws the foul, rather. Let's look at that last play. Had 3 defenders in front of him, but Cartel went for it. This time, Navarro. Navarro sinks in that first one. Two for two for Jolo Navarro. Altas ball. 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first half. Baldoria gives it to Roluna. Orgo now. 7 seconds on the shot clock. And a foul. We have Borja on the floor, facing down. And that will be due to a hacking foul. Replay of that last sequence, we saw Borja collision with Cartel after the bounce pass, and he went straight to the floor as Cartel was trying to go to the other side. But our refs will now be reviewing that last sequence and see who gets the next possession. Our score is still Perpetual Altas 22 and NU Bulldogs 14. So the foul was upgraded to an unsportsmanlike foul. And Borja now will be going to the free throw line. Aris Borja. No good on the second one. Altas ball. Shot clock at 14. Tabuan, the inbounder. Got Baldoria. Now Roluna. 6 on the shot clock. Orgo, step back. 3, in and out. Battle for the ball. Possession stays with the Altas. Call was a holding foul. Altas will maintain possession. Tabuan now. Inbound, Roluna. Dished it out. Corner three. No good. Cartel with the rebound. Miranda. Looking for an opening. And a call on the floor. That's on number 10, Borja. A pushing foul. His second personal foul of the game. NU ball once again. 14 on the shot clock. Basket is good for Miranda. So to clarify, the last unsportsmanlike foul was on Omar John. Ball went out of bounds. Denied. Let's look at the last sequences here. Miranda straight to the basket, reverse layup. Stopping at nothing. From a wide gap in the first quarter. It is now a 6-point game. 6-point stand between both of these teams. Now 7. A chance to make it 8. Two for two from the free throw line, Aris Borja. And he'll be taking a seat after that one. Miranda now. 2 defenders on him. Going straight to the basket, Alfanta, and the call. And that's a pushing foul on James Tolabot, his first personal foul. He'll send Carl Maxi Alfanta to the free throw line. And he'll shoot some free throws. No good on the first one. This is a chance to close this deficit here. 8-point lead for Perpetual Altas. In and out on that second one. Less than 5 minutes left here in the first half. Tolabot goes inside to his teammate. That's TJ Tabuan and makes it count. Miranda, full court press from the Altas. 13 on the shot clock, elbow jumper, bounces right off. Orgo. Tolabot will go straight to the basket, no good. Stolen away by Alfanta. He'll go straight to the basket, short. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch was NU. Roluna, the inbounder. Ball is now with Orgo. Match up with Miranda. Got 11 seconds to shoot. Galsano goes inside to Roluna. Out. And shot is good for Tabuan. TJ Tabuan on that last shot. Puts the scoreboard now for the Altas. 29 points in this game. NU 16. A collision away from the ball. I believe that's TJ Tabuan on the floor. And he collided with Preciano. Let's look at that last sequence. Yep, he collided with Persiano as he was following the NU player bring the ball down. Altas ball with 3 minutes and 27 seconds left here in the second quarter. Luna, now Gelsano, top of the key, short. And we see Mo Diasana coming back in. Jolo Navarro heading back to the bench for NU. NU ball now. Garcia brings it down. Dishes it out. Got Figueroa. Go for three, no good. Orgo gives it to Deremdes. Orgo will choose to go for the three and makes it. Sean Orgo. And you now 14 on the shot clock. No on the corner three. Bounces right off. Last touch Altas. Ball stays with NU. And let's look at those last sequences. Sean Orgo, the man at the right place at the right time, going for the three. Our score now is Perpetual Altas 31, NU 16. Collision on his way to the basket. Call on the floor. Let's look at that last sequence. Garcia colliding with Pizarro as he was trying to make that layup. We see Garcia now on the free throw line. And a few substitutions for both teams. Two players coming in. Garcia will be shooting 2 free throws from the line. So far, he's had 2 points, 1 rebound, a defensive rebound at that. But since their game from UST, he's been on the stats, efficient on points and assists. No good on those 2 free throws. And battle for the ball with a whistle on the floor. This time, it's Mo Diasana going to the free throw line. That'll be a free throw for Diasana. He makes it. NU now with 19 points. Stolen away by Garcia. Francisco, corner three. Bounces right off. Diasano with the rebound. Second chance here. 12 on the shot clock. Garcia drives baseline and makes it. But he falls. He's now on the floor, clutching the back of his head, facing down. We see his teammates surrounding him after that last play. So let's look at that sequence. Garcia got the ball, drove through the baseline, and collided with a player as he fell. He was under Diasana. but he is still clutching the back of his head. We now have medics looking at him. Still here at the UP Varsity Training Center, less than 2 minutes left here in the second quarter. 10-point game, 10-point stand between both of these teams towards the end of our first half. Altas ball now, 7 to shoot. Pizarro kicks it out. Bounces right off for Duremdes. NU, Laconsay gives it to Jumamoy. Francisco finding an open man here. Now Diasana, 6 seconds to shoot. Short for Persiano. Thompson on the floor. Casinillo, Tulabot will go for the three. Tulabot with the triple, widening that gap even further, now 13 points ahead. We'll be back after this break. Less than a minute left here in the second quarter. Still Perpetual Altas versus NU Bulldogs in our last day of the single round robin within the groups. Here in the NSAC 2026 College Basketball Campus Tour. This weekend's tour stop at the UP Diliman campus. Our score, the Altas up by 13 points. We got 34 points overall in this game to NU Bulldogs with 21. .5 seconds left in the first quarter. Francisco couldn't save it, too strong on the pass. Altas ball. Duremdes, the inbounder. Shot clock is at 14 seconds. He gives it to Casinillo. He'll spin, and it will go. Shot in the paint for Casinillo. Garcia now. Bozina, back to Francisco. 6 on the shot clock. Garcia makes space, and he makes it count. Casinillo finding space away from Laconsay. Shot clock is off, 8 seconds to shoot. 2 seconds. Short on that three. No good on that fadeaway by Thompson. And that will be the end of the second quarter. Our score at the end of the first half is Perpetual Altas 36, NU Bulldogs 23. incredible showdown from our first half. Shots made by Perpetual Altas, getting that early run, making their baskets, and controlling the pace, really, of the first and the second quarter. But the NU Bulldogs slowly finding their groove, trying to find the stop to the Altas. And they were slowly able to diminish that deficit. We ended the first half with a 13-point game, 13-point stand between both of these teams. But the shots made, the difficulty, the defense, and staying right on possession, it really adds to how intense and to how aggressive these guys are playing. Because of course, the stake is winner of this game will take full control of the second seed here in Group B. Garcia on your screens from the highlight. Really one of the top players for the NU Bulldogs. We're ending this once again. We ended the first half, 13 points between them, 36 to 23. And we can see here the field goals. 14 out of 37 made by the Altas. They're shooting really well to NU Bulldogs, 10 out of 32. In terms of 3-point field goals, the Altas are taking it away. 5 successful shots from beyond the arc. NU, they have yet to create that kind of production for triples. And in terms of assists, the Altas are leading once again, as well as with steals. One thing the NU Bulldogs have to look out is their turnovers. They've had 7 compared to the Altas' 1. So those are the numbers to really contextualize what's happened in the first 2 quarters. But our leading scorers for the Altas, we have Tolabot with 10. He's in the double digits. Orgo with 7. Gelsano with 6. Meanwhile, for the Bulldogs, we have Garcia with 6 points. Diasana with 5 and Padrones with 4. More to watch out for from these 6 players on your screens. And they've definitely stepped up. Earlier, we talked about in the pregame, the Altas are missing the likes of Mark Goho Cruz and JD Pagolayan. But they don't need to worry because they've got their leading scorers led by Tolabot going in to the second half of our matchup today. Once again, we are at the UP Varsity Training Center for the final day of the single round robin eliminations. So our tournament format once again, after the single round robin set of games within the 4 groups that we have, the seedings from that will determine the matchups going into the round of 16. So whoever wins this game will face seed number 3 of Group C, and who will walk away with a defeat will face seed number 2 of Group C going in to round of 16. Third quarter of action, starting it off with NU ball. Got John called for a violation. Now we have Altas ball. Our score once again, Perpetual Altas 36, NU Bulldogs 23. Gelsano gives it out to Maglupay. It's now with Doremdes. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Borja, the elbow, no good. Francisco gets the rebound. He'll bring it down. He gives it to Jumamoy, back to him. Now Serrano. 8 to shoot. Clock winding down. Jumamoy goes straight for the basket, no good. Put back, no good. Altas with the ball. Roluna. Gelsano now, looking for an open man. Borja. Now Doremdes, he'll go to the paint, but dishes it out. Short, and stolen away by Serrano. We have Serrano here. Loose ball. He secures it. Jumamoy will go straight to the basket. Reverse layup is good. Layup with the left hand. Now Orgo. Two defenders on him. Gives it to Roluna. Gelsano now. And Doremdes. Borja. That is good. Making a shot at the paint. Still 13 points stand between both of these teams. And new ball. 4 seconds to shoot. Omar John denied. Roluna. Got Orgo, gives it to Doremdes. Inside to Reyes. Back out. Finding the best shot possible. Shot is good for Aris Borja. Francisco with 14 to shoot. He gives it to John. And loses it. But with a whistle on the floor, the ball will stay with the NU Bulldogs. That's a foul on Jello Gelsano. And now we've got Diasana and Padrones coming back in for the NU Bulldogs. That was Kenshin Padrones on your screens. Back in for the NU Bulldogs. Sumamoy guarded. Goes for the three, no good. We see Gelsano helped by both NU and Perpetual Altas players. No ill intentions, just good basketball. 14 on the shot clock. NU ball with Garcia, the inbounder. Alfanta. That is good for Alfanta. Moving up the scoreboard for NU. Orgo matchup with Francisco. Couldn't find an opening. Borja now. 8 on the shot clock. Roluna. Double man. Gives it inside to Borja. And the layup is good. A good find from his teammate. Off the assist. And it was in. Alfanta. Alfanta gets it to go with that three-pointer. The first three-pointer for the NU Bulldogs this entire game. Doremdes goes inside to Borja. Blocked. Check that. Padrones was unable to block the ball. Let's look at that last sequence. Those last few baskets for Altas and NU. The three from Alfanta. Now the score. Still a 13-point game. Perpetual Altas up 13. with 43 points to NU's 30 points. So after that last collision, Aris Borja now on the free throw line to shoot some hoops. Find a way to widen this lead. And so I talked to Coach Olsen Rosella earlier, and coming into this game, it was really about getting to know his players, their contributions and the combinations that has been working and has been hurting them. So they're using each game as a development, according to him. NU Garcia with the ball. Gives it to Alfanta, back to Garcia. 9 seconds to shoot. Tolabot couldn't find an opening there. Alfanta bounces right off. Maglupay with the defensive rebound. Maglupay gives it to Reyes. Gives it to Galsano, rather. Reyes got that rebound. He's bringing it down. Dishes it out. Tolabot. Corner. Tolabot with that corner shot. NU now with 32 points. Orgo fakes. Bounce pass to the inside, but Galsano couldn't save it. The ball went out of bounds. But let's look at that last play. Tolabot with that triple. Going no hesitation as the clock was winding down. Score now, Perpetual Altas 43, NU Bulldogs 32. 3 minutes and 56 seconds left here in the third quarter. Double teamed in defense. But now it's back into Tolabot's hands. No good. A whistle on the floor. And that will be a holding foul on JM Tolabot. NU will have possession. You see Garcia with on the inbound, 14 on the shot clock for the Bulldogs. Diasana lost it, stolen away by Maglupay. Maglupay will go in, dishes it out, corner. No good for Casinillo. Diasana fouled on his way. A whistle on the floor as Diasana was trying to make the basket. So Diasana rather will go to the free throw line to shoot some hoops. So that's 2 free throws for Diasana. Sinks the first one in. Two for 2 for Mo Diasana. The point difference now between both of these teams are in the single digits. Stolen away by Diasana. Counter steal by Danag. Tolabot gives it to Casinillo. No good on that reverse. NU will try to respond. Garcia, Tolabot, denied, goes for the 3. Short. Tolabot gets his own miss. Loose ball. And Garcia finishes it. Timeout now for the Perpetual Altas. We'll be back after this break. On your screens, Coach Nash Rosella, the head coach of the Adamson Soaring Falcons. He's in the UP Varsity Training Center right now, watching the game between the Perpetual Altas and the NU Bulldogs. On your screens is Coach Olsen Rosella, the head coach of the Perpetual Altas. The Adamson Soaring Falcons will be playing later today. Struggle for the ball. It goes out of bounds in NU. And the Altas, okay, struggle to figure out who will be having possession here. So after some confusion, NU has possession. Garcia. Reyes to Tulabot. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Clock winding down. Stolen away by the Altas. And bothered, no good on that basket, and a collision on Tulabot's way to the other side of the court. A whistle on the floor. But let's look at this last few sequences. Tulabot going for that high jump, collides with the Altas defender. I believe that's Allen Maglupay. That's Olsen Rosella on your screens. The coaching staff talking to the Altas coaching staff talking to the refs after that last whistle. So there's now a warning on head coach Olsen Rosella. And we are back in the ball game. We see Nath Tulabot, 2 free throws after his try on the basket earlier. No gun on that first one. Sinks the second one in. Just 6 points stand between both of these teams with less than 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. Stolen away by Garcia. He goes straight to the basket and it's in. That left-hand layup is good for Garcia. Now 4 points stand between both of these teams. Maglupay in the corner. Tulabot gives it to Danag with 6 seconds to shoot. Casanillo on the corner, no good. Pizarro, offensive rebound and puts it in. Eman Pizarro has been efficient on blocks and steals, but on the other side, a triple by Vince Reyes. 3 points stand between both of these teams now. 3-point game, less than a minute left here in the third quarter. It is still the battle for the second seed of Group B. Pizarro, sidestep, no good. Garcia with a rebound. And Diasana couldn't save that pass. Let's look at that last one. That spin with the fadeaway for Altas and the triple for NU. There's been quite a lead quite a point difference between both of these teams coming from the first half before the third quarter started. It was a 13-point game. Now it's a 3-point game. Orgo bothered by Francisco on his way to the basket. Padrones now. Garcia. Laconsay. Collision right under the basket. The whistle on the floor will bring Laconsay to the free throw line. Replay now. Laconsay bothered on his way to the basket and draws the foul. A chance to diminish this deficit. NU trailing by 2 points. A 1-point game now between the Altas and the Bulldogs. Less than 30 seconds left. A call. And that's a pushing foul on Paul Francisco. 18.8 seconds left here in the third quarter. The shot clock is off. We've got Altas ball. Danag, the inbounder. He gives it to Orgo. It's now with Reyes. Back, now with Orgo. 9 seconds to shoot. Clock winding down. Kicks it out. Danag. Short. And the buzzer. What a third quarter. The adjustments coming from that halftime. It has brought the 13-point difference to just a 1-point game now. Perpetual Altas 45, NU Bulldogs 44. Highlights of the third quarter. One thing to describe it is diminishing that deficit for the NU Bulldogs. If they were trying to find the stop, they were able to come from a 13-point deficit now to just a 1-point deficit. The heroics of multiple players on the floor from that third period has come to this point. It's the reason why our scoreboard reads Altas 45, Bulldogs 44. The NU Bulldogs bench screaming defense. Almost lost it. Orgo secures. 7 on the shot clock. He'll spin. Double man. Gelsano dishes it out. In and out for Doremdes. A chance to get the lead for NU. Stolen away. Altas. Roluna. Doremdes. 13 on the shot clock. Kicks it out. Doremdes. Go to the basket. loses it. Ball is stolen away. Garcia. Slow down the pace. Try to find the opening. And that three is good for Reyes. For the first time in this ball game, the NU Bulldogs have the lead. They have a 3-point lead in just 2 minutes of play here in the fourth quarter. And that triple by Vince Reyes has given them that cushion. For now, Jan Roluna on the free throw line.
2 free throws for Jan Roluna.
2 free throws for Jan Roluna. At the halftime, we were talking about how the Altas were out-shooting or outscoring NU from beyond the arc, and that's one of the reasons is because of Roluna. Right now, he's averaging 66.7% from the three-point line. 2 for 2 for Jan Roluna. It's a tied game, 47-all. Chance to take the lead. Garcia spins, releases, no good. Orgo gives it to Duremdes. He'll go for a triple. Francisco with the rebound. Reyes to Garcia. He'll slow things down, calling a play. 8 on the shot clock. Francisco with the corner three. NU up again by 3 points. 50-47 in favor of the Bulldogs. 13 to shoot here for the Altas. Gelzano. Duremdes, top of the key. He'll go inside. The refs call jump ball. Possession arrow points to the NU Bulldogs. And let's look at that last three. Paul Francisco contributing on the scoreboard. And now NU at possession once again. Francisco Garcia. He'll drive. Bounces off the glass. And last touch. So Maglupay is asking to review the last touch to, of course, decide who will gain this next possession. So the refs will review that last touch. Crucial with the score that we see on your screens. NU up by 3. So let's look at that. It looks like it was either Danag or Padrones rather. And a player from the Altas who went for the ball. So we see Orgo, but we also see Maglupay. So the refs will decide who had last touch on that possession. Here again, both teams touched it. Looks like Maglupay was nearest, but it will all depend on the refs. So that review, the challenge by Coach Olsen Rosella was unsuccessful. NU possession now. No good on that 3. Second chance. A few collisions on the floor. But NU will try again. Garcia. Try to make space. The clock is winding down. Francisco again. Out to Laconsay. Little to the left there. And Gelsano secures the rebound. Roluna. In and out. Gelsano will try again. And a call on the floor. We got a whistle on that last play. Plus a few substitutions here. NU Diasana coming in for Paul Francisco. 2 free throws for Jello Gelsano. That foul was on Paul Francisco, who's now back on the bench for the Bulldogs. The Altas, with a lead for most of this ball game, is now behind by 3 points. We ended the first half. They ended the first half with a 13-point lead. Now they're trailing behind by 3. Possession now with the NU Bulldogs. We have Alfanta with the inbound. 2-point game. Garcia zigzagging his way, bounce pass to the inside, bothered. Altas possession. Orgo, he'll try to slow things down. Duremdes, Maglupay. Roluna inside to Maglupay. Borja in the paint. Bothered and stolen away by Alfanta. Garcia now kicks it out. Reyes. Roluna gets it. On the corner, Orgo goes inside to Duremdes. Back out. Duremdes was on the baseline. 6 seconds to shoot for the Altas. Borja. And a foul on the floor. As the clock was winding down. So that's a pushing foul on Laconsay. Still, NU leading by 2. And for those who've just joined us, this is the battle for the number 2 seed for Group B. Orgo will go for the triple. Bounces right off. Francisco back in the ball game. Now Humamoy rather. Reyes gives it to Alfanta. 9 on the shot clock. Alfanta, top of the key. Second chance. Interrupted by the whistle. So that's a foul on Eco Laure. Check that. Altas will have possession. Sean Orgo. He gives it to Duremdes. Now Maglupay. Clock winding down. Ball stolen away by Diasana. The light touch by Humamoy is no good. The Altas will try once again. 13 on the shot clock. Struggle for the ball. And NU gets the steal. Courtesy of Reynard Humamoy. A chance to widen this 2-point lead. Humamoy goes straight to the basket, dishes it out to Francisco. Bouncing right off. Duremdes now. He gives it to Orgo. And Orgo secures that lead with that triple for the Altas. The Altas now at 51, NU 50. A 1-point game with 3 minutes and 27 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. 1 second to shoot, and it will count. Carl Maxi Alfanta ties the game. Check that. He adds 2 points to NU. They're now leading by 1. It's been a back and forth game here, trying to secure the lead. Loose ball goes out of bounds. Possession will go to the NU Bulldogs. We have Gelzano and Roluna coming in. But a timeout for now. We'll be back after this break. Fourth quarter of action. NU up by 1, 52 to Perpetual Altas is 51. 2 minutes and 40 left here in the fourth quarter. The battle for the second seed in Group B going into round of 16. The three is good for Carl Maxi Alfanta. He widens that gap. They're now up by 4 points. Nine on the shot clock. No good for Casinillo. And the Bulldogs, trailing behind for most of this game, have a 4-point cushion in the last 2 minutes of this fourth quarter. Corner three for Reyes, in and out. Diasana puts it right back in. Timeout for now. We'll be back after this break. Okay. Back in the UP Varsity Training Center, less than 2 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Perpetual Altas versus the NU Bulldogs. The battle for the number 2 spot of Group B. This seeding will determine the matchups for our round of 16. NU up by 6 points. 7 seconds to shoot here for the Altas. No good for Casinillo. Diasana was there. Check that. Francisco gives it to Humamoy. He'll try to slow things down here. Goes to the corner. 4-3 once again, Alfanta. They are now up by 9 points. The biggest lead for the Bulldogs in this entire game. Less than a minute left here in the fourth quarter. Maglupay tries to diminish this deficit. They're trailing behind by 7 now. Got Humamoy. He's looking at the clock, calling a play. Guarded by Borja. Will go to the paint and gets the basket. Reynard Humamoy. NU Bulldogs now with 62. Perpetual Altas has a triple of their own. Ele Casinillo 3. And a whistle on the floor. The last few sequences has brought the score now to just 6 points. It's a 6-point game standing between both of these teams. Game clock reads 14.2 seconds. With 14 on the shot clock. Just a 0.2 difference. So there was a foul on, a call on the floor. But in this last 12.6 seconds, NU has possession. You see Vince Reyes with the inbound. He gives it to Diasana. Collisions on the half court. And a timeout now. Perpetual Altas wants to talk things out. We'll be back after this break. We see the Adamson Soaring Falcons on your screens. They'll be the next game After this one, they'll be going head-to-head with the Mapua Cardinals. So that's the third game of this 5-game slate today. Last day of our single round robin within the four groups. And the seedings from that will determine the matchup going into our round of 16. And our game right now, Perpetual Altas versus the NU Bulldogs, that is the stake. Sole possession of seed number 2 for Group B. 11.1 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Casenillo gets the 3 with 4.5 seconds left. So there's a pushing foul on Reynard Humamoy. Let's look at that last sequence. A 3 by L.A. Casenillo. These two teams now have 3 points standing between them. L.A. Casenillo, that collision as he was shooting in that last sequence has brought him to the free throw line. A chance to diminish, well, a chance to shorten this gap. L.A. Casenillo, he makes that free throw. National University will call for a timeout. Our score is 62-60. It's been a back and forth game, a back and forth quarter of baskets. NU still holding on to that lead, now up by 2 points. Score is 62-60. 4.5 seconds left here. NU possession. Struggle for the ball. And we see Humamoy on the floor by the sideline. The Altas and NU players helping him up. Let's look at this last play here, trying to get that inbound. The struggle. Humamoy falls down. And another timeout here called by National University. 2.9 left here in the ball game. We'll be back. where JD Pagulayan here with a sling on his arm. He is one of the players of Perpetual Altas. Watching his team. And I talked to Coach Olsen Racela earlier. And we can also see Mark Goho Cruz on your screens. Two players we talked about who were out for Perpetual Altas because they're nursing injuries. And Coach Olsen Racela said that they will be out for at least a week. Struggle for the ball. Trying to get possession there. There was a whistle on the floor. Let's look at that replay. NU secures it. Two Altas players trying to get the ball. And I believe they were trying to get it from Carl Alfanta. So our refs will be reviewing that last whistle. Our score with 1.5 seconds left here. NU up by 2. Perpetual at 60. So the action with the ball was away from the camera. But as you can see in the corner of your screens, two Altas players were trying to get it away from NU. The refs will now decide who gains possession in the last 1.5 seconds of play. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the UP Diliman stop of the NSAC 2026 College Basketball Campus Tour, specifically at the Varsity Training Center. This is just the second game of today's quintuple header. That's right, 5 games today, 3 more after this one. And some of these teams actually played just yesterday. Exactly, or maybe even less than 24 hours ago. Our next game, of course, on your screens already here in the Varsity Training Center, the Mapua Cardinals. They'll be facing the guys in blue earlier we showed in your screens, the Adamson Soaring Falcons. Once again, on your screens, the Adamson Soaring Falcons. They'll be in the next game. So the refs will give the possession to NU. Diasana makes a basket in that last second of play. What a finish here for NU. NU Bulldogs 64. Perpetual Altas 60, and our rebounder of the game, no other than Mohamed Diasana. 7 rebounds and that last 2 points of the ball game. Really securing possession, but the guy who did, the heavy lifting for the NU Bulldogs, that's number 19, Carl Maxi Alfanta, finishing this game with 13 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. The NU Bulldogs, from being down in almost the entire first half and finding a stop in the third, to gaining the lead in the fourth. More games to come at this weekend stop. Once again, up next, the Mapua Cardinals versus the Adamson Soaring Falcons. On behalf of our director, Glenn Infante, our producer, Manny Gabutina, and all the hardworking men and women behind the scenes, my name is Paula Kalingasan, and this has been the NSAC 2026 College Basketball Campus Tour.